What's up guys, it's me Jeremy. Better nerf Aurelia is kind of an outdated joke at this point, but way back in season 2 it was a super popular notion that in the end, no matter what happened, Aurelia would get nerfed. AD carries are too strong? Better nerf Aurelia. Supports need more gold? Better nerf Aurelia. Junglers are too weak? Better nerf Aurelia. You get the idea. But it's funny because Aurelia didn't actually receive that many nerfs at all. Throughout this list, we've kept things very technical, giving every single champion an overall nerf score. Big nerfs were worth 3 points, medium-sized nerfs are worth 2 points, and minor nerfs are worth 1 point. And based on the overall nerf score of every single champion, we came up with a list of the top 10 most nerfed champions of all time. And on that list, Aurelia scores an 8 total nerf score, which actually doesn't even put her in the top 40 most nerfed champions. This list we made only goes up to patch 6.3, so who knows, maybe a year or two down the line this will be a completely different list. As well, here are some of my favorite comments from a previous video where I asked what champion I should make a history video for next. For a chance to be featured in a future video, leave a comment about what champion you think deserves a nerf. Anyways, let's get started. At number 10 we have Ezreal, who had 5 minor nerfs, 4 medium-sized nerf, and 1 big boy nerf, putting him at a total nerf score of 16. He was released on March 16th, 2010, or on patch 79. His first nerf took place on patch 85, 2 months after his release, which lowered the heal on his Essence Flux. On patch 87, he received a medium-sized nerf, and after that on patch 94, he received his huge nerf that saw the removal of the heal on his Essence Flux and a massive nerf to the attack speed buff and debuff component as well. Immediately after, on patch 94B, he received a medium nerf, and I think we can pull some conclusions for maybe just about how strong Ezreal was before those two changes. On patch 99, he received a minor nerf, and on patch 100, he took a medium-sized hit to his base stats and base damages. He would go untouched for a while and receive some buffs until some minor nerfs on patch 146 and 150. On patch 154, he received a minor nerf, and lastly on patch 301, he received another minor nerf. At number 9, we have Katarina, which is a funny one because it actually comes from 16 small nerfs, 0 medium-sized nerfs, and 0 big nerfs for an overall total score of 16 as well, to be tied with Ezreal, but she gets the tiebreaker for having more overall nerfs. She was released on September 19th, 2009, or patch 9.25.21, and after having received a few buffs, her first nerf came on patch 52, about 2 months after her release. Her next came on patch 70, and then again on 72 and 74. After a reasonably sized buff, she was nerfed again on patch 87, and then later on patch 97. On patch 100, her Shen could no longer be cast while rooted, and in patch 110, her ultimate received a minor damage nerf. After some minor buffs on patch 115, she received a small nerf to her Q, and later on patches 151 and 154, she received minor nerfs. On patch 301, she received a hit to her Shen damage reduction, and after that it took all the way up until 420 for her to receive another nerf in the form of an early game hit to her ultimate. On patch 5.4, her passive got nerfed, and on 5.6 she took a little bit of a hit to her base stats, and lastly on patch 511 the damage on her Shen was reduced. At number 8 we have Corki, who had 4 minor nerfs, 5 medium-sized nerf, and 1 big nerf, putting him at a total nerf score of 17. He was released on September 19th, 2009, or patch 9.25.21, the same patch as Katarina, in a pretty crazy state as we can tell from his first and only big nerf happening right after, on patch 9.25.24, 2 weeks after his release, where every single one of his abilities and his base stats took a hit. About 3 months later, he received a medium-sized nerf on patch 61, and another one on patch 63. After that, he was in a pretty decent spot until patch 105, where he received a medium-sized hit to his ultimate, and on patch 106, he was hit with a minor nerf. On 122, he took a medium hit to various damages in his kit, and later on 146, he received another medium-sized nerf. Fast forward a little bit after some buffs, and on patch 313, he received a minor nerf to his ultimate. Fast forward again to patch 5.1, and he was hit with a nerf on the mana cost for his Valkyrie. After that came his rework and his most recent nerf on patch 6.3 that wraps things up. At number 7, it's Shen, who received 11 minor nerfs, 3 medium nerfs, and 0 big nerfs for a total score of 17, to be tied with Corki as well, but Shen gets the tiebreaker for having more overall nerfs. Shen was released on March 24th, 2010, or patch 81. He was a bit too strong, so about a month later on patch 83, he received a medium-sized nerf that saw minor changes to most of his abilities. But again on patch 85 he received another medium-sized nerf, and after that he received a rework on patch 99 and then was hit with a minor nerf on patch 100. Shen got to relax a little bit until patch 115, where in a minor nerf the shield on his ultimate was lowered. He received another minor nerf on patch 118 and again on patches 135 and 136. On patch 140B, he took a hit to the cooldown on his key strike, and on 142 he took a minor hit to the cooldown on his ultimate. And shortly after, on patches 143 and 146, he was hit with minor nerfs. And after that, he wasn't nerfed until patch 310A, where he received a medium-sized nerf in the form of a hit to his ultimate and his W, and another minor nerf on patch 313. After that, Shen would get a really long break from nerfs up until a minor one on patch 511, where he received his most recent nerf. At number 6 we have Ryze, who received 9 minor nerfs, 2 medium nerfs, and 2 major nerfs, for a total nerf score of 19. Ryze was part of the original 17 champions that the game began with, so he was released on February 21st, 2009, and to kick things off on the 3rd week of the alpha stage he received a minor nerf to his Q, and on the May 23rd, 2009 patch he took a small hit, and on patch 9.22.7 he received another minor nerf, and another one on patch 32. After that he went through a rework and some buffs until another minor nerf on patch 82. On patch 83 he received a medium-sized nerf, and he would go on to get another rework, and on patch 116 he had a minor nerf. And after that he didn't see too much action in terms of nerfs for a pretty long time, and it wasn't until patch 310 where he was hit with a medium-sized nerf in the form of nerfs to his range on his Q, W, and E abilities. Fast forward to patch 419 where he received a minor nerf, and then we hit season 5. Where on patch 5.8 he received his most recent rework, which was a huge nerf to his kit overall. After a huge buff he would again receive another big boy nerf on patch 5.12 with a big nerf to his passive Q and W. In patch 5.14 he received a medium-sized nerf, and on patch 5.22 he was hit with a minor nerf, and finally most recently on patch 6.3 he was hit with a pretty interesting change that was overall a minor nerf. At number 5 we have Kassadin, who received 11 minor nerfs, 1 medium-sized nerf, and 2 big nerfs to put him at a total score of 19 to be tied with Ryze, but he gets the tiebreaker for having more total nerfs. It started with his release on August 7th, 2009, or patch 9.22.7. Immediately he was hit with a minor nerf on patch 9.22.9 and 9.22.16. After that, his Force Pulse AP ratio took a minor hit on patch 61, and he would go on to receive some changes and buffs until patch 100, where his Riftwalk could no longer be cast while rooted. On patch 113 he received some changes that came out to an overall minor nerf, and on patch 129 he received another minor nerf. To follow that up, on patch 131 he was hit with a minor nerf in the form of a cooldown increase to his Riftwalk. After that he would go on to be fairly untouched for quite some time, maybe a few minor buffs here and there, until patch 313 where he was hit with a medium nerf that saw hits to the base stats, Q, and ultimate. Later on patch 4.3 he was nerfed again, and on patch 4.4 he was hit with his rework that resulted in a massive overall nerf. After some buffs he would get minor nerfs on patch 4.7 and 4.9, and again on 4.12. And finally, to wrap things up, he was hit with another big boy nerf on patch 5.4 that saw a gutting to the range on his Riftwalk that saw his win rates hit all-time lows. Next up at number 4 we have Sion actually, who received 11 minor nerfs, 3 medium nerfs, and 1 big nerf for a total nerf score of 20. He was also one of the original 17 champions and was released on February 21st, 2009. And kicking things off, he was hit with a minor nerf on the 5th week of the alpha stage, and medium nerfs on the 6th and 7th week. Following that up, he was hit with another minor nerf on the April 11th, 2009 patch, and on the June 6th, 2009 patch, he was hit with his 1 big boy nerf that saw the AP ratio of his W lowered by a total of 100% on his AP. And on the June 19th patch, we saw another minor nerf. I think you can kind of get a little bit of an idea what beta Sion was like from all those nerfs, and it doesn't stop there, as on patch 9.25.34, his W took another minor hit, and fast forward a little bit, and on patch 103 his W took another minor hit again. Following that up, he had minor nerfs on patches 113 and 115, and on patch 129 his AP ratios took minor hits. He would go on to be fairly weak until his massive rework that changed everything, and so we fast forward all the way to patch 420, where he took a minor hit again, and on patch 5.6 he received a minor nerf to his damages. And finally, to wrap things up, on patch 5.8, his W was hit with a minor nerf. Next up, taking home the bronze medal at number 3, we have Soraka, who received 14 minor nerfs, 3 medium nerfs, and 0 big nerfs, putting her at a total nerf score of 20, tied with Sion, but she gets the tiebreaker. Similar to Ryze, Soraka was also a part of the 17 champions the game originally came with, so she was released on February 21st, 2009. She received her first nerf on the 4th week of the alpha stage, and was hit with more minor nerfs on the May 23rd and May 29th, 2009 patches. And on the June 19th, 2009 patch was hit with another overall minor nerf. Following that, she received another minor nerf on the July 10th, 2009 patch, and then getting out of beta and approaching Season 1, she received minor nerfs on patch 86, 94, and 98, until patch 99, where she received her first medium-sized nerf. She would go on to relax for a little bit until patch 124, where she received an overall medium-sized nerf. To follow that up, on patch 134, she was hit with another medium-sized one, and another minor nerf on patch 139. On patch 142, she took a minor hit, and after that would go on to calm down for a little bit, but we fast forward to after her rework, all the way until patch 4.8, where she was hit with a minor nerf, and after another rework, she received a minor nerf on patch 421, and then lastly, to wrap things up, she was hit with a minor nerf on patch 524. And now with the silver medal, we actually have Morgana, who received 12 minor nerfs, 3 medium-sized nerfs, and 1 big nerf, for a total nerf score of 21. Morgana was again one of the champions who was part of the original 17, and so she was released on February 21st, 2009. To kick things off, she received a minor nerf on the April 25th, 2009 patch, and on the May 15th, 2009 patch, she received her one big nerf that saw her big hits to Q, W, and E. Moving into the beta, she received minor nerfs on patch 922.15 and 922.16. On patch 925.21, she was hit with a minor nerf, and to follow that up, a medium nerf on patch 925.24, which saw a decent hit to her Q, W, and E. Finally, coming out of beta, she received minor nerfs on patch 52 and 61, and after that was hit with a medium nerf on patch 103 that saw a hitbox nerf to her Q, and hits to her AP ratios and damage. Again on patch 106, she was hit with a medium nerf, and later on 118 was hit with another small nerf. After that, she was hit with small nerfs on patches 126, 133, and 140, and would go on to be unnerfed for a really long time actually. Fast forward all the way to Season 4, and in patch 414, she received a minor hit to her E and her ultimate. And finally, wrapping things up, her W received a minor damage nerf on patch 5.9. And lastly, taking home the grand prize, if you could call it that, in first place we have Janna, who received 12 small nerfs, 2 medium-sized nerfs, and 2 big boy nerfs for a whopping total nerf score of 22. Janna was released on September 2nd, 2009, or patch 922.16, and her first nerf wasn't until a minor change on patch 83 actually, about half a year after her release. But then she would go on to receive a nerf rampage unlike any other champion ever, with small nerfs on patch 86, 87, 94, and 94B, and then comes her first big boy nerf on patch 106, followed up by another small nerf on patch 112. After that came small nerfs on patches 120 and 136, to be followed up by her first medium-sized nerf on patch 142, that saw a decent hit to her W and ultimate. Following that up, she received another minor nerf on patch 144, and would finally begin to slow down a little bit until patch 314, where she was hit with another gigantic nerf that ruined her passive and gutted her Q, W, and E abilities. After that, she would go on to receive some buffs a few months later until patch 419, where she was hit with another minor nerf, and on patches 5.1 and 5.4 was hit with minor nerfs again. Finally, on patch 5.17, she received a medium-sized nerf to wrap things up, and at a total nerf score of 22, that makes Janna the most nerfed champion in League of Legends history. And that's just about it. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and if you don't, hit the dislike, and if this video hits 10,000 ratings, I'll make a video about the top 10 most buffed champions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.